Hey, Nashvillians. Welcome to the You Matter Nashville podcast, the place where every story we share is a celebration of you, the heartbeat of our community. I'm Jason Hoover, delighted to be one half of your hosting duo.
And I'm Mindy Hoover, joining you alongside Jason to bring the stories of inspiring individuals and unsung heroes making a positive impact right here in our hometown.
Every episode is about passions, dreams, and actions that stitch together the Middle Tennessee community.
So if you're looking to get inspired by the good happening around us, or if you want to hear from the change makers who believe, just like us, that you matter, then hit that follow button on your favorite podcast platform.
And if you are looking to make a move in the Middle Tennessee area, Mindy and I are real estate professionals and would be honored to serve you with excellence.
Now, let's dive into another episode of You Matter Nashville.
Welcome to You Matter Nashville podcast, where we interview community leaders that are making a positive impact right here in the Middle Tennessee area. I'm Jason Hoover.
And I am Mindy Hoover, and I'm so glad to have our guest with us today. We have Allison Gamble with the Nook, and she is going to be telling us all about this amazing program that is helping our schools here in Williamson County.
Yeah, and Allison, you are the community outreach person, right? Is that correct?
I work in community development and fundraising.
Community development.
If you want to contact me with either of those things, please do.
Perfect. So I really like this organization, Nook, which stands for Needs of Our Kids.
Yes.
And there's a lot of information here that really is surprising that so many people don't know about. And I know, Mindy, you worked in the school system for quite some time.
Yeah, for quite a while. And there has always been a need, especially for the kids that are in the gap, the kids that are needing that extra, like fiscal support, that are needing the school supplies and, extra clothing, school fees, just different things. Looking into this, I thought I knew what Nook was about. So I was pretty excited to see all the different programs that you guys support. I think it's really going to blow everybody away today.
Yeah. So Allison, why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about Nook?
Okay. I'm Allison Gamble, and I've been with the Nook for about 4 years. And I started as a volunteer, meaning that I was just on call during the day. And if a need arose, then I went shopping. And the children get their needs met that day. So the whole goal of Needs of Our Kids is to reach them, like you said, in that gap. So if there's an immediate need, shoes, hygiene products, coats, anything that you can imagine to keep them in school for 1 to 2 days, then we can provide that the same day that the need exists.
That is something that's just unbelievable because, teaching red tape. Like if we had to submit this to the county and be like, hey, we need help, this child needs help, it has to go through 5 or 6 people before it finally, the need gets met. And it may be a week or 2 before the need is met. So just knowing that you guys are there going, oh, I can go literally in 5 minutes and go pick this stuff up and get it to the school by the end of the day. It is amazing. It really is amazing.
And that's how it started. A group of moms noticed that teachers were spending their own resources just to keep the kids with deodorant, just to keep the kids with a pair of non-ripped pants. And so they realized that they could meet it immediately. And over time, they spoke with the school board, they spoke with principals and social workers and counselors. So we could have a direct line to meet those needs while they're waiting for the more formal resources to show up.
And you guys are a group of parents that started this, right?
Yes. And we realized that it was a distraction for the children that had the need, but also for every child. If a kid is hungry, if a kid doesn't have the right shoes for recess, that is a distraction for everybody. And it also messes with the dignity of that child.
Yeah.
So that was of utmost importance for every kid in the school that we meet them where they are. And the way the schedule works per day, it's from 8 to 2 o'clock for the volunteers. And that way those volunteers can go get into the car line and pick up their own children.
Oh, okay. And so you started at Poplar Grove, right?
Poplar Grove. Mm-hmm.
And it was just, you saw a need of children that was impacting them in their studies, I would assume. And
Yes.
you saw that you could help them quicker than going through the school system. Is that kind of what
That's
happened?
exactly right.
Okay.
And we also work with organizations like One Gen Away. If a family needs a food box to get them
Yeah.
over the hump, because children can't learn and they're not going to be in school if they have no energy or if they're
Right.
hungry, and even snacks after school, that sort of thing. And some of those requests can get very specific. Sometimes we need meat.
Mm.
Sometimes we need some fresh fruit to keep the energy up after school. And through One Gen Away, we can help those families the same day as well.
And I really truly believe that just from being on the teaching side is that people forget that there is this whole separate demographic, and there's also another set of people that, that they're one or two paychecks away. If they lose a job, or if one of the parents loses a job, they cannot sustain living here. So, I mean,
Correct.
it
And
is,
yes,
yeah. So having something like this that can just meet that need really quickly is so important. And what you were saying about, the kids having like an even playing field,
Mm.
and,
correct. Mhm.
not having the right shoes, so that maybe they have sandals and it's November or December. Like right now, it's starting to get too cold, and, having that
We had one
option.
little girl who her only pair of shoes were her Sunday shoes. And they even had a little heel on them. Well, you can't go
No.
to PE in
No.
those, and you can't, they were special shoes, but you also need the everyday shoe. And so we were able to get
Yeah.
those to her so she could just get back into the activities of school. And we also provide gas cards for families, understanding that kids need to get to and from places, parents need to get to work, or if you have a teenager, they need to be able to get around, and trolley tickets. We provide those.
Oh,
We
wow. That's
purchase those through
awesome.
the city as well.
That's fantastic.
Especially for the middle school and the high school kids, that can utilize that, and I think that's just really, really great, especially with the after school tutoring programs, which a lot of times the same kids are needing to have that chance. And if their parents are working one or two jobs that don't end until well after tutoring ends, it really puts them in a bad place. So having that trolley
Yes.
option
Yeah.
is really great.
And you mentioned about being one or two paychecks away. Well, several years ago, just 3 or 4 years ago, a family might have been able to do that to make their rent and feed their kids and get them what they needed for school. And because prices are so high now, it's just not an option.
Hmm.
So they might lose housing. Um, they might find themselves in a situation that's an emergency or a domestic situation where the needs of the entire family need to be met. And we're there to help fill that gap.
You shared something with us that was astonishing. One of the things that you shared with us that 40% of kids in Franklin are on free or reduced lunch program right
And
here in Franklin.
that might be
Yeah.
shocking to a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's close to 40%, and every school's different, but there's a large population at each school that has free or reduced lunch kids, and for whatever reason.
Hmm.
And the last census shows us that about 5% of families live in poverty here in Franklin, but that equals about 4,000 people. So that's 4,000 people in really what's still a small town of
Yeah.
Franklin that have a need. And there are wonderful organizations in town that can help provide what they need. But again, we are the same day solution for these kids.
I had read just this past week, in some real estate emails and stuff that was sent, that people who live in Williamson County and Franklin pay a much higher percentage of their paycheck to be here. And so, like, what their housing cost may be 20-25% in another county or in a more rural area, where here it can be like 40%, 50% of the paycheck is going to rent or to a house payment, because they are wanting the school system. And so they're
Right.
sacrificing a lot to be here. But again, that really puts them in that marginal area, of just one or two paychecks. And I mean, we understand the sacrifice of what you do in order to be in a great city like this, but but it's really great that you guys are able to step in and help these kids.
And we have actually we rarely get direct feedback from families because it's all anonymous. And we work on everybody that works with the Nook is volunteer, even the board. And but this past week, through a social worker, we got some feedback from a mom, and I'd love to read it to you if I could.
Oh,
Yeah,
please.
That'd be great. Again, we rarely get to hear it, but we know, but because it's all anonymous.
A lot of times it's a thankless job, but it's soul fulfilling.
Oh, absolutely. And this mom writes, we received the generous donation with the student's coat and clothes in it. I mean, I teared up. It's so sweet. I can't believe they even got us the lotion and shampoo. I know it's expensive, but it's the little things that make us feel more human.
Oh my goodness.
So we're dealing with families that need soap. We're dealing with families that need a toothbrush, and along with their bigger needs like pants or underwear or like we said with the food boxes. We also work with organizations like One Site where kids can get referrals to receive prescription glasses.
That's amazing.
We work with a lot of organizations around town that can help fulfill some of those other needs that we can't directly fill.
And, that is one of the things that Jason and I are wanting to do with these podcasts is trying to bridge some of these, nonprofits that, you can work together.
Right.
Absolutely. And it's important that we do. Absolutely.
Yes.
So you focus mostly right here in the Williamson County School District and Franklin Special School District?
Yes, we work with Franklin Special School District and Williamson County schools that are in Franklin.
Okay.
And we also work with Fairview. We have a connection with a lady that lives in town, so we can get needs to Fairview as they're needed.
Because that's like a little extra trek going out that way. So it's nice having people that can take care of that area.
Right, absolutely. So our focus is Franklin proper.
Okay. Do you mind telling us a little bit about your volunteers?
The majority, probably 98%, are women. We have over 30, it's our largest year this year, of parents who, and some people who have kids that have grown out of the school system, like mine, but we're passionate about the kids that are in the schools. And they are available whenever we need them. We have an officer on call every week that can help fulfill requests if somebody gets overwhelmed. So a typical day for a volunteer on call, you wake up and you log into the GroupMe app, and we've got two streams of information. We get requests from FSSD and Williamson County. And those requests come from counselors. They come from social workers, nurses. Okay. We also help stock nurses' offices with stretchy pants or feminine hygiene products, or hygiene products in general. But as an example, this really illustrates the level of need that we get daily.
Oh my goodness.
That's incredible.
So we'll get needs for entire families. Wow. Or, it might be one kid who just needs a coat. But
so for those that are listening and not watching, you're showing your GroupMe of all of these, just line after line after line of things that are needed for these kids. And right. Those that are just listening, she's just scrolling and scrolling on her phone, and that's amazing. That is so much.
It's powerful. And for example, there's a little girl who's, I don't know what grade she's in, but she's a size 10, 12. She needs every kind of clothing item. She needs a hygiene kit in shampoo, soap, body wash, hairbrush, feminine hygiene, toothpaste. It's all listed here. And we keep a lot of the hygiene products in our very little storeroom at Franklin, or Freedom Middle. Okay. But most of the time we go and we purchase items for the children, and it's all new. We don't accept used items, and that's part of maintaining the dignity for the child. So they look like everybody else.
Yeah.
And if they have a favorite color, we would love to find them the red shoes if we can. We want them to feel fast on the playground. So, or if they like blue, we'll try to get them the blue coat.
What is your biggest need like throughout the year? What do you tend to run out of the fastest?
Typically hygiene products, the things that are ultimately disposable. Toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant. We go through a lot of deodorant. We go through a lot of feminine hygiene products. We go through, we love socks and underwear. Love socks and underwear.
Yeah.
And mostly because we can't keep every kind of size in our small space for every child. So if you have a couple of kids in a day that need a 4-5 pant plus a 10-12 pant for the brother, that sort of thing, then it makes more sense for us to go out and purchase those. But the things that we all use every day just to be clean, those are the things that we desire most in our little closet.
Okay.
I get that. And as a former teacher, I just want to say thank you for the deodorant that you guys provide.
It's no joke.
It is no joke with those middle schoolers. God bless every middle school teacher.
We have a teenage son. He has deodorant.
I still have a teenage son. He's in college, but yes, but imagine if you didn't have those things as the kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you just want to be in class. You don't want anybody looking at you.
Well, and people and kids, they talk and they snicker and they say things. So, just little things like that make a world of difference to these kids.
It's really, like what that mother said, that, it's the little things that make us feel human.
I know, that is powerful. Make us feel human.
Feel human.
Teaching at Centennial years ago, and I had a closet in there, and talking about teachers supplying, I had feminine products. I had I had soup that the kids could put in the microwave if they didn't have anything to eat that day. I did not have deodorant for them to share. I did not have that, but I had like certain items. I had snacks, but I can't even tell you how many times, I would have girls kind of like wave at me and go into my office, and I knew what that meant, that they were needing to go get something. Because I was on the opposite side from the nurses station, and a lot of those girls didn't have it.
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
So how do you find the physical donations, or even monetary? You take monetary donations as well. How do you find that?
Absolutely. Well, we talk a lot. I'll talk to anybody. So anybody listening, if you have a small group and you want an activity, if you want to do any kind of drive, I would love, love, love to come talk to your organization about what we do. Our website is needsofourkids.com. And there's a donate button there for monetary donations. We covet monthly donors. That's amazing. That gives us some consistency. We rely a lot on grants, small grants throughout the year, and in individual donations. And one way to either volunteer, you can volunteer on our website, or you can email us at contactus@needsofourkids.com. Contact us at needsofourkids.com. If you want to schedule someone like me to come talk to you, or if you have some items that you'd like to donate, or if you'd like to, or if you have any questions at all. One other thing that we offer are small grants and scholarships. Grants are given to students who need to pay for fees for school, uniforms, things. If you can't afford your deodorant, or you don't have a way to transportation to go get it, how are you going to afford your uniform, or your fees, or or your competition fees? And you can go through your counselor or someone else at your school, and or you can contact us at needsofourkids.com, and we can facilitate that for you.
Okay.
And this is incredible. From being a former music teacher, you have the fees to be a part. We ask for them to be paid. If not, they have to be fundraised, and it falls on the teacher then to fundraise for these students, which is part of the job. It's what we do. But just knowing that these kids can actually have that covered, and that's not on their back, that, I got to fundraise super hard because I can't contribute to the school.
Or prom tickets.
Yeah, prom tickets.
We'll help you with,
That's amazing. I didn't know
and
you
that
guys
in
did
conjunction
that.
with what you do with your amazing organization, providing dresses. See, this is why it's important that we all know each other, right?
It is.
That we work together.
I do think there's some way to collaborate on that.
Oh, 100%. Because I didn't even think about that. But but these kids who want to participate, and the parents just won't let them because that club costs too much. You can't do it.
Yeah.
And they are just left out.
Correct.
I saw that. in the school system, because it's not a have to. You don't have to be a part of that group, but it also takes away part of being a teenager, part of being a kid,
That's
being able
right.
to participate.
If you need help with an instrument, renting an instrument, something like that. So
Oh,
that's something.
Oh, that's amazing.
Contact us at Needs of Our
Yeah.
Kids, or go through your school counselor. That's the best way to do it, and they can contact us. That way, it's mostly still anonymous as well.
So
right.
if they are donating money, are you a 501c or are
We
you under?
are.
Okay,
We are. So
perfect.
just know that, like I said, everyone is a volunteer, even the board. And we've got some really smart people on the board that manage all of that. Um, but we're able to get our items tax free when we shop for them. And
Great.
it's all going to the children,
Yeah.
because we don't have a building. We have permission for a closet. It's all going to the families and the children.
So if I'm listening to this show and I want to donate some items, do y'all have like an Amazon wish list or something I can go and shop and purchase for you guys?
We are working on it right now, and by December 1st, that will be up and running.
Oh,
And
perfect.
so I know it's in a couple of weeks, but everybody's busy right now anyway. But December 1st, that should be available. And also, if you want to donate items, I will come pick them up from you.
Okay.
So Allison Gamble 716 at gmail.com. I will come to you, and then I can talk to all of your people while I'm there.
Perfect. I love that. So, you've been doing this for 4 years. Now, is that, were you there at the inception of this, or how long has the program been going?
I wasn't. The program's been going on for about 7.
7 years. Okay.
And I remember being in the middle school and watching the parents at basketball games handing bags back and forth to deliver to the teachers to get to the students. So it was just a very small group making it happen. And now we've got over 30 volunteers, which is incredible. Because everyone I speak to, it's such an obvious yes that even if you can't be available during the day, if you're working in an office, I was working online, so I could schedule my day to be able to be available. But yes, there are so many families that can provide a pair of tennis shoes, even though they cost twice as much as they did 3 or 4 years ago at Walmart. It's such an easy thing to say yes to, and that's why it's such an
Oh, yeah.
easy thing for me to talk about. And to encourage others to be a part of.
Yeah. So also too on the items, you had mentioned that you really would love to increase your monthly donors, the donation amount. Is there a way that do you have it like set up through Stripe or PayPal where it automatically does that, or is that
Yes,
something?
if you go on needsofourkids.com and click the donate button, there's an option to give monthly.
Oh,
Okay,
great.
You can have it be a recurring donation,
perfect.
and any amount is helpful. $5 a month buys the deodorant, buys
Oh
several
wow,
deodorants.
just little things like that. We always think we need to like impact in large amounts, and you really don't. Just the little things, they add up.
We'll take the large amount,
Oh,
but
you're
the
not going to
$5
reject
is
that.
great.
It's like if your company just wants to give a big lump
Yeah,
sum for that, 2024
That's right.
write-off, let's make that happen.
Or if companies have, for the write-off, yes, or if they also offer grants and they've just never heard of us and they're interested in helping us and having us apply for that, we would love to hear from you. Absolutely.
That's great.
perfect. I love that.
So you've had some stories and things that you've shared with us, but what kind of feedback have you gotten from the community or from other people that have been working with you?
Well, the feedback like we got from this one mother from a social worker is kind of rare just because everything's anonymous. We don't know who it's
Right.
going to. However, we will get feedback sometimes from counselors. For example, one of our favorites at Poplar Grove, he will always tell us how if a kid's excited about the color of the shoe that she got or the jacket and they put it immediately on, they didn't want to take it off because these were mostly parents and we're thinking about, well, would my own child wear this out too quickly? or would they want to wear this? We don't go in thinking whatever they have will take.
Right.
Sometimes that happens if they're out of a ton of things, but we're really thinking about the kid and what would bring them a little joy, in addition to the fact that they've got some tennis shoes.
Yeah, just fitting in, just
fitting
feeling
in.
like everyone else.
That's right.
Well, and to add to that, I think a big portion of it is they feel, and this plays into our podcast, but they feel like they matter now, that somebody loves them, that somebody cares enough to, make them feel human, and that they have worth in this world.
And they're not alone. People are paying attention, and that they're not
paying
alone.
attention.
Yeah, the details, they do matter if you can do it.
Yeah.
And we have amazing people that work for the city for these families, the city social workers and everyone and our school board, everyone that works to surround these children. And we are just so blessed that we can be an immediate solution until those amazing people can do their magic.
And I don't think people realize that we even have kids that are living in like motels that have lost their homes for various reasons. And could you share a little bit about how you guys are bridging that gap?
Certainly. There's one motel that I'm thinking of in particular that actually has a bus stop. There are families that live in the motel, and they don't have access to a stove or things like that. So their food needs will be very specific. Right. But we can still provide it. We can still do microwavable things. We can still do, if one gen doesn't have it, we'll go get it. And those kids have the same needs that everybody else does. So whether they have stable housing or not, then there's a solution for a couple of days, at least.
So, one thing, we're talking about the different donations, and something that Mindy and I, we came up with this idea of how can we give back, because we love doing the podcast and connecting people. And we started seeing there's so much need right here for monetary donations, as well. And so we created this give back program for our real estate team, which is just right now it's a husband and wife team. And we really love each other. We're on everything together.
That's nice.
She's laughing. I don't know why. But so we came up with this give back program that you may be interested in. So what we do for everybody that comes on the podcast, and you have to have a 501(c), which you do, is that if you refer, or anybody at all refers business to us to buy, sell, doesn't matter. And they just let us know, hey, Allison from Nook shared with us that you have a give back program. And so if we help them close on any properties, we will give back 20% of our professional fee that we receive. Incredible. And that will go directly to you. And there's no red tape. It's as simple as that.
It's a check.
Yeah, it's a check, and it's a donation. And so if that's of interest to you, we'll definitely like to have you part of that give back program.
Thank you so much. That's incredible. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll send you information on it as well.
Yeah,
Great.
We'll get that out to you guys.
Yeah. Well, Allison, it has been an absolute pleasure to get to know you a little bit more. And I like your shirt, by the way. I've been meaning to say something. I like the shirt. Yeah. So we've got new shirts in for our podcast, and we're going to send one out to you as well for taking time to be on our show.
Great. Today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get that out to you. Anything else that you want to share with our listeners before we wrap this up?
Just once again, well, thank you, first of all, for having me and having the Nook on this amazing show. You guys do an incredible job with the show. And again, this is just such an easy yes. If you have $5, or if you find yourself at the dollar store and you can pick up 5 tubes of toothpaste and you want to donate it, that will make an immediate impact in a kid's life, in a family's life, really. And if you have any questions at all, please contact us at needsofourkids.com.
I love it. I love it. Well, Allison, thank you so much
Yes.
for coming on the show today. It's been really special to have you here and to hear all the things that you guys do. It's pretty extensive. I thought it was just clothes and things here and there, but you guys just go well on beyond that. And it's just, I'm so proud to have something like this part of our kids, our personal children's school system. Thank
Yes.
you guys so much for all that you do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. And to everybody listening, thank you for tuning in. And we'll have all the information and some links in the show notes for you. So if you want to donate, we'll have that information down there. If you need to contact Allison, we'll have that for you as well. So we love you, Nashville. Have a blessed week, and always remember that you matter. And that brings us to the end of another episode of You Matter Nashville.
We hope today's show has left you feeling as uplifted and inspired as we are. Remember, the spirit of Nashville lives in all of us, and every small act of kindness echoes throughout the community.
A huge thank you for listening and even being a part of our You Matter community. If you love this episode, please share with friends and leave us a 5-star review. It helps us reach more listeners and spread the love.
And if you know anyone that is looking to make a move to Middle Tennessee area, we are real estate professionals known as the Hoover Team, and we would be honored to serve them with excellence.
Until next time, keep making a difference, Nashville. You matter more than you know.